All right. So last week I didn't get my preview up in time, so I didn't post it. And this week I'm going to be pressed for time. I'm going to try and get my preview up tonight right after this, but have it go live. Uh, well, I'm probably going to just upload it right away. But anyways, this is going to be a recap of the Oregon State game last week and my thoughts. Before I get into that, I just want to explain live last Saturday, I saw the first half. I went to a wedding and listened to part of it on the radio on the way there. And after the wedding, when I got home, I did end up watching it because we recorded it. So I have seen the whole game, but when you're watching a game in hindsight after they won and blew a team out, it's different than when you don't know what's happening. So with that said, the second time I watched the full game, I was a little bit more critical of certain things because I was trying to analyze it more. So this is just going to be my thoughts. And, we've only played 2 games this year. We've seen the best and worst, I think, of Michigan so far. And, there's obviously things that still need to be worked on, but there were things that they did really well. So with that said, the Oregon State first half, they didn't do as well as I was expecting. They came out and gave up a touchdown on that first drive. The defense after that looked great, but for that drive looked dreadful. Now, I'm hoping that they didn't show some glaring weaknesses for future opponents. I know, after that, they shut them down pretty much completely. I think they only gave up in the second half maybe 4 yards total, if you count penalties and sacks and things like that against the yardage, which is amazing. If you really take out that first drive, I think they only gave up like 80 yards in the whole game or something. So wasn't a lot at all. And my stats could be off, so please don't judge me. I'm not looking at a sheet or anything like that. This is all based off of memory now. Oregon State had a scrambling quarterback, which early on I thought would come back to bite us the same way it did against Utah. When we played Utah, the fact that quarterback could run threw our defense off. Oregon State's quarterback, they got to him. Now, was that good coaching during the week? Was that just disciplined football? Was it just a quarterback that wasn't as good at running the ball? I don't know. But they shut it down. So that's good. They made progress in those regards. Now, Oregon State's not that good of a team. We knew that going into it. We were expected to win. People still didn't really know what to expect with Michigan, So, yeah. Now, we only won 35-7. Well, yeah, that's a big, big win. Yes, but going into halftime, it was almost tied, So we went from having the ball on our own 1 yard line to having the ball on their 1 yard line 30 seconds later. And that right there was a huge momentum swing. Huge. Oregon State was still in the game, and we put up some points before halftime. And, obviously the second half is a story unto itself. But that first half, we didn't look as good as I feel we should have. Now, I'm not saying we're bad or anything like that. I still think we're a solid team and we're just going to get better throughout the year. But after that game, saw people going crazy about how good we were, how good our run blocking was, how good Davion Smith looked. And I appreciated the hard running he did. Oregon State's defense got tired and things started opening up in the second half. And that's great. And hopefully this gives our team the confidence they need, because they haven't had confidence for 2 years, especially run blocking. So I'm just hoping that gives them the confidence they need. Now, does this mean Davion Smith is a top running back? No, he is a hard worker for sure. He's probably one of the hardest workers during game time on Saturdays that I've seen in a long time. And I like that style. I don't think he's a playmaker. I don't think he's the kind of guy who's going to break a 70-yard run or anything like that. It's possible, but I don't think that you should expect big runs. I mean, he's not the fastest guy on the team. So again, he's going to get you those hard-earned yards. Hopefully Drake Harris, is that that's not who I'm thinking about. Who was the guy? Shoot. The other running back, the guy who's been hurt. Hopefully he comes back and gets some runs. I know he was really fast last year. I'm really interested in seeing when eventually Jabril Peppers gets in on offense, if they use him and how they use him, other than as a decoy. They kind of teased at the end of the game there by putting him in. Obviously, it was just a kneel down, but, it was kind of funny. The radio was freaking out about it. I'm like, he's not going to do anything. There's only like a minute left in the game. So, anyways, but yeah, defense looked good. Chris Wormley, I think I said it in the last video about the Utah game, looked very impressive. Again, very good player. Desmond Morgan, Joe Borland looked really good at linebacker. Jabril Peppers looks good. I'm not sure. It seems like you can expect one play where he's maybe supposed to be there, but he's not there. I don't know what's up with that. There was a play early on where I think he got a pass interference call against him where if he just turned around, he would have had a pick, and possibly some yards after the interception. So I think we're good. I don't think we're great. Right now, I think going into the UNLV game, I expect us to win with a similar score, maybe 35-10, 35-14, 30-14. But at the same time, I won't be surprised if we score over 40. UNLV is probably the easiest team on our schedule, and yeah, I don't know, but I'll do a whole nother video on that. I just wanted to get my thoughts on the Oregon State game. I think Jake Rudock looked a lot better. He seems to be very comfortable back there, very confident. He has a short memory, which is great as a quarterback, and he seems to be able to chip away at a defense. He's content taking those short dump passes, working his way down the field, and I like that. It's more like that West Coast offense, and every now and then he's not afraid to throw the ball deep. That first throw of the game where he threw it deep was on point, really. I mean, that was a very accurate throw, and I think it shut a lot of people up from last week who said he can't throw accurately. I think he can be accurate. I think he can be a good quarterback. You got to remember, this is his first year with these guys. He hasn't worked with any of these guys before this year, so the timing is going to be off every now and then. But you saw it in the second quarter. He started building some momentum. I think the screen pass right now was a great pass. I think when we start playing better teams, we got to be careful with that. It hurt us in the second half against Utah where we had the pick six. Good teams are going to have stuff like that scouted out. So we got to be careful with that against good teams like the Michigan States, Ohio States. But right now it's working. And I think to do that, to open up your run game, great idea. Jake Butt looks great so far. That guy, stellar. And, in the game, or maybe it's the radio, I can't remember, there he said, Jake Butt looks like he's really improved. I don't think it was a matter of improving. I think it's just a matter of being used effectively. He showed signs that he was this good before this year. And for some reason, he wasn't given a chance, a fair chance. So I think Jake Butt could be a guy who does a lot of good things. I still think there's more ways we can use him too. Line him up out in the slot every now and then. Maybe use him on some screens. See what happens with that, because, now I'm not telling Harbaugh what to do. Jim Harbaugh is a genius. I read an article this week that said how it's a collaborative deal when they play call. He has final say, but unlike most places, it's not an offensive coordinator necessarily picking the play. It's not a position coach. It's everybody, choosing. Like Jim will say, hey, I want to do a run play on this down. And, you have Jed Fish and Tyrone Wheatley and, a couple other guys saying, oh, well, let's do this run play, or no, don't do that run play because, we're showing something on this, or they're showing something on defense of this, so it's very collaborative. And it sounds interesting because I've never heard of a team doing that. So I like it. Whatever they're doing, it's working. So I'm going to end the video there. It's still young. We've only, 2 games into the season so far. Tomorrow will be the 3rd. I try to keep a level head until about week 4, around there. Once you've seen 4 games, I think you can kind of tell, what your team's strengths and weaknesses are. I haven't seen practice, so, it's hard to say. And then at the same time, you play certain teams that have certain systems. For instance, a couple years ago, we played Air Force, who had really 3 plays they ran all game long, and they were like 3 different options. And then they had a couple other plays, but they pretty much ran those same 3 plays. Of course, they ran for 400 yards or something crazy because of their system. So when you play a team, you got to also take that into account before you say, oh, our team sucks at this or that. So that's why you got to see a sample rate of like 3 or 4 games, I feel. So anyways, that's it. I will do another quick video about my UNLV thoughts for tomorrow. And yeah, I'll have a score prediction, specific one in there for that game. And I may even give you guys a little bonus score prediction for the Michigan State game, just for fun. It's something I do at work with my boss, actually, and he's a Michigan State grad. I'm, Michigan fan. And, we kind of do it so we can bring in some stuff. So if you're interested in these videos, be sure to subscribe and, tell your friends and tell all your Michigan friends to check me out. I will also be doing Lions videos in the near future. I did not do one last week. I'm going to try and do one this weekend, though. So it'll be just like this, prediction, recap, thoughts, things like that. And yeah, so see you guys there. Thanks. Bye-bye.